Alright, we might as well check. Do these people have any reactions for me? After what happened? Kallio? I have my doubts that the voices in Nerat is dead. That just seems like something he would have planned for a long time ago. You sure you got the right Archon? Kallio shrugs. What can I do for you? Kallio touches a gentle hand on your shoulder. How do you think the court will fare without Blade and Mark? The court ought to learn the lesson that the Empire already knows. Everyone's replaceable. As long as we keep that in mind, I'm not so worried about the court. Her lips curl in a knowing smile. So ultimately, we can just... somebody can go kill things. Just need to use somebody else to kill your enemy is when somebody is disrespecting the law. Better for all our sakes that the voices in Nerat left this world. I always thought Kairos used him to thin the herd, and that anyone in the hierarchy was fair game. Speculation, of course. But you look as if you have some questions for me to untangle. Ask. I'm feeling generous. How do you think the court will fare without Blade and Mark? Better than ever, I hope. Without the dependable aid of an unkillable assassin, I'm sure we'll stumble along the way. The court itself will have to be stronger if it expects to survive. And that sort of change is always welcome. That's all we've really got. Alright, so we have minor dialogue about the death of both of those characters, and that's about it. Everyone make your loop around. I'm kind of bummed out that I think the game's gonna end soon. Just because some of my characters just got new abilities I want to spend more time with. I can sing 2 songs at once as Siren.
Archon. Change has come to the Tiers, and in time it will reach the Empire itself. You are the agent of that change, and even I could not have predicted what impossible heights you would reach. The time has come to take up the gavel and usher in a new age of structure and law to the Tiers. You will henceforth define justice for the rest of us. I will follow your lead and endeavor to follow your design.
Your loyalty and confidence are appreciated.
As the ruling Archon of the Tiers, I submit to your authority and thank you for bringing order out of chaos. Go and represent the strength of law. Be the example the Tiers require, the force that keeps them together, and the hope for their future under one rule.
He actually came down to the ground. I wasn't sure that was even in his list of possibilities to just come down to the ground and stop floating. Does he always control his floating height at all times?
Let your justice know no mercy but that which you impose. Civilization itself will bend according to your design. Never forget this.
Well then, there are a total of 6 Archons in the area. 2 of them just died, and 2 of them just pledged their fealty to me, or already had in the past, so that leaves 1 character in the entire area. I guess you could say there's 7 Archons, so 3 of them just died, and 2 of them pledged themselves to me, and 1 of them is still way off in the Blade Grave, seemingly having just disappeared from the game entirely ever since the prologue. We just never really encountered Graven Ash again, even though he seemed really important. Just no interactions directly with him. Kinda thought he would just show up midway through, again. I think I could have, but the fact that it wasn't mandatory was a bit of a surprise. So can I talk to him again? I actually can't. Nope, can't talk to him ever again, probably. How much game is left? I think that's just it. There we go. Take the fight to the disfavored and travel to Iron Hearth. That's it. That's the entire... That's the only thing left in the story. I'm not on orders to take care of the edict anymore, apparently, although it would be kind of nice to take out the edict just to collect the power of it, and maybe even experience the story of that region. Aside from that, though, all that's left is to take out, the boss themselves. Let's head back to a Spire and rest. Because if I rest at a Spire, I get a resting bonus. I think that's the closest one. Perhaps. No, but that was the closest one. Same amount of loading either way. So we'll rest at a Spire, get our bonus, get rid of our wounds, and I guess we'll go kill Graven Ash. Ta-da! Let's take a look down here. No! So that's it, right? I just can't go to Sentinel Stand? Yeah. I don't know if we can continue the story here. Old Walls breach. Scouts have recently confirmed the presence of an opening leading to the old walls at this location. The immediate area is likely dangerous given the high risk of Bane infestation. The breach is not far from the site where the Unbroken Regent, Epistratos, famously clashed with the disfavored forces at the close of the war. Then you have Iron Hearth. This massive fortress is perched atop the edge of a tier that helps form the Blade Grave's northern border. Graven Ash took the ancient castle during the conquest and now launches all disfavored operations from this well-defended location. Huh. Yeah, most of these locations are now inaccessible just across the board. So I think if I went to Iron Hearth, the game would just end. So I could just end it and get out of the way. I kind of want to go here. Like, if I can claim the last tower, I kind of want to see if something special happens when I get the last tower. Or even if I can declare an edict on this region, that makes it funnier to take down Iron Hearth, perhaps. But I think he might be in this region where I can't do an edict, perhaps. Either way, they give me the option to go here, and I kind of want to check it out. Even though it may include fighting, spirits again. What are they called? Crap. The wisps and everything. Which, surprisingly, pretty much only came up in one dungeon, and then never again. Look at that, there's a visual. The Blade Grave. Hello. We have a place to explore. Why not? Come get me, brah. Oh, a lot of dead people. Hey, more gems. Also, let's put these away. They put gems directly into my inventory. No thank you. Here we go. I want to get more fighting done, because I want to use Siren's new 2-song ability. And I want to spend more time with my leveled characters and upgraded armor and everything. Just lots of random gear around here. Tines of bedrock dot the landscape, providing little shelter from the constant winds. I feel like you can't call it bedrock if it's sticking out of the ground like that. I don't think that really fits the definition anymore at some point. This doesn't look like a very big area. Just robbing gems out of people's sleeping bags. Sweet. I'm the Archon of this land. All of you are gate. Shit. I always double second guess the pronunciation of that word. All your shit are belong to us. Yes. Can I go down there? Wait. Can I not even go anywhere here?
Can't do that.
Am I crazy, or is the game doesn't have like interactive spots as far as I can tell. Is this just a site where a battle happened? That's it? Yeah. I'm up here instead of down there. How do I get down there? I don't see a climb spot anywhere. What? Maybe I'm just not supposed to go there now. Weird. Weird that it's here. Alright, fine. I'll go kill the disfavored. Let's go kill the disfavored so I can go back to playing Dishonored. I have a vague plan in my head where I finish Tyranny, and maybe also Shadow Tactics. Then I go back to play all of the DLC for Deus Ex Mankind Divided, because there's DLC for that now. Some of which was there at the time, too. Then I go back and do my Chaos, Evil, Kill Everybody playthrough of Dishonored 2. Then I come back and do my second playthrough of Rebellion Path for Tyranny, probably. We'll see how that turns out. I think my vague, expect dialogue skipping to an extent. especially for the prologue and stuff. If I find the time to replay this game properly, I'm probably going to be skipping a lot of the dialogue because of duplication until I get to the part where there's actually forking and interesting things to happen. Just because you can spend like hours reading the dialogue in this game, can and have. But now I've read a lot of it before, so I'm just going to do the next... If I do a second season as planned, I'm going to do it with the assumption people watched the first season and already know the story, either from playing the game or watching the season. And so I'll be skipping duplicate dialogue and specifically only really reading the newer stuff. Otherwise, it'll be twice as long as it needs to be for completely redundant reasons. Let's go make a mess. They're just crescent runners and stuff. Yeah, you guys got a lot less intimidating over time, honestly. It's pretty much still the same enemies as before. Let's get you guys all close so I can start doing nasty buffs. There's the buff number 1. Ah, Siren. There we go. Buff time. Everyone gets more stronger, and then rocks happen everywhere. Yay! Fun new skills. Siren, don't do that. Don't go casting nonsense. Do crazy explosions of cool stuff. Yay! Explosions of cool stuff everywhere. What's the point of having all these cool skills if you guys auto attack? Oh, lightning time. Yay! Heart shot. You guys have too many cool tricks for you to be wasting your time auto-attacking. Yeah.
Right.
We are going to ruin these people today. Jeez. So apparently this is where Graven Ash has been hanging out. Looks like a similarly small camp to where Voice of Nerat hangs out, too. And that must be his spot up top. His grave. Not his grave. Graven Ash's grave. His HQ with his main spot. Oh wow, cooldown's actually still going for that. Alright, fine. Lightning powers. Bouncing shots. I'm going between fights so fast that I actually don't have the cooldowns back. Cone of fire. Non-stop. Oh, you damn it. I went too fast, too slowly. Everybody gets bonus damage. And... don't I have something really cool now? That's once per rest. Storm Wheel. Let's save that for Graven Ash. I'll pit my crazy effect against his crazy effect. Instead I'll do... let's hang out right here. Do Unravel Minds. There we go. How you guys feeling? Do a hard shot. I've got so many fun toys. Yay. Just throw out something like this, restore the land. Just to make our invincible party all the more invincible. I think I already clicked on this. Oh well. Another cone of danger. No, that one. That'll hit everyone. Yay. I've got so many toys to play with just in time for the game to be over, I think. That's so disappointing. All these crazy, like, cones and lightnings and nightmares and murder machines. Hit him with all the things you've got. Hit him with every single thing. What's this one? Blast of Confusion, once per rest. Let's not do that right now, then. That'd be a bad idea. What are you doing Spectral Blur right now? That seems a little redundant. Eh, whatever. Fight's about to end. He's not gonna last. Jeez, we've got so many toys now. I love it. I love how many toys we have. The whole area is just glowing with the restorative properties of just yet another thing I've just unleashed upon the area. There we go. Now I'm curious about how it would go if I just had a full party of like high armor spellcasters just blasting the area with crazy effects constantly. Aoja's Calling, plus 10 control life, 1% health every 6 seconds. Exquisite. That might be something good to give to you, actually. instead of Lantry's Quill. They both have Sigil of Life, which is the only reason I use Lantry's Quill necessarily. I guess technically, he has thrown weapons. Oh, it's only 4 ranks higher than Magic Staff, so it doesn't matter. And this has to be doing more damage than freaking Lantry's Quill. There you go. We did it just in time for the end of the game. Lantry has a cool weapon. So he finally got a healing weapon. All I had to do was come here ever. Whoops. Save. Back to steamrolling everything. This stall contains spoils acquired in the battlefield, all but neatly labeled and organized. That is the appealing thing about the disfavored, is at least everything's nice and organized. I think I would have ultimately preferred them more. I think that the Scarlet Chorus were more tolerable during the prologue, in particular, as just being a group of barbarians, but the voices of Narad in particular became such an unbearable leader to deal with that I probably would have enjoyed Graven Ash more as a leader throughout the playthrough than voices, but I would still run into the same problems of being blocked and not having the ability to make the decisions I want to make because the game constantly makes decisions for you. What? Why is he crouching? No, Lantry, don't cast it now. Okay, you guys get up here. And Lantry, you get up here. Now cast it when everyone's in formation together. And you cast that. Let's see. You can do Iron Tolling. And you can do Bouncy Shot! Yay! Everything gets lightninged. Lightning straight to hell. Then everything gets fired to hell. And Lantry gets to do... These ones are still waiting. How long are their cooldowns? Have I only had a chance to cast each of them once so far? Cooldown 32 seconds? Nah, I must have been able... It can't have only been that much time between. Spectral Blur on the tank, why not? Will of Command has been activated, now Fan of Knives! Hit everybody while they're still here, because they'll be gone soon. Here comes the fire. Now lightning. This is fun. We're having fun. Bouncy heal, in case anyone takes any damage, I guess. Because there's only so many tricks for Lantry to pull at some point. You just move on to the next target, I suppose. Everyone's kind of... everyone just died of magic anyway. Jesus. These fights are going down so fast. Is this how fast fights would have been going if I had kept, let's see, is this an upgrade? That's an upgrade, because that's the same item that is being used by him right now. This is probably how fast fights were going to be going if I had never used Kills and Shadows and just kept Siren in my party with all these new upgrades. Although some of the new spell sigils were relatively recent, unfortunately. Yeah, maybe that'll be my next playthrough. Maybe next playthrough I'll grab, maybe my first Spire will immediately be the library, and then I'll just have 4 spellcasters in the party, and just have them have the library constantly researching new sigils so I get them as fast as possible without having to find them through normal progression. And then we just have a bunch of crazy people with high lore skills just spamming crazy bullshit all over the screen constantly. That could be an entertaining playthrough.
Do you have eyes on this?
I don't even have to fight these guys, but I will. Howdy, folks. Okay, so you attack, you get up here, you get up here, you get in there so you can buff everybody. There we go. Heart shot right through there could be fun. You get people's attention, if you can. You might not have this guy's attention, this maybe focus on him first. And you do nasty cone attacks, which are not going to get, actually... Which one has bounces? Yeah, Rhyme Spike has bounces. Let's have that bounce. Let's see that bounce! Yep, that's a lot of bouncing. Does that one have bounces? Fireball bounces. Bounces get scary fast. AoE! AoE! Got so many nasty tricks to throw around. Oh, he's paralyzed, so he's stuck for the moment. God damn. That AoE is absurd. Electric bounces too, right? Yeah, let's just do all of our bouncing attacks. That'll be fun. Here comes the lightning next. Oh no, our fearless leader is taking mild damage. Whatever shall we do? A bouncing knockdown attack. That marginally worked. Go for the stab. There we go. I may need... That'd be interesting to play on a higher difficulty with a bunch of spellcasters and just sort of eschew the entire concept of how I would normally balance my party. If everyone's using heavy armor, they'd be hard to take down. A lot of the... that could be interesting. That could be interesting. We wouldn't need a traditional tank if there's no soft people in the party. And with enough spells going around. Like, recovery seems a little broken in this game, because you make... The penalty for being armored is recovery going up, but your recovery time be going up. But spells themselves have a cooldown. So at some point you can't... If you're casting quickly, you just run out of spells to cast anyway. You can up your quickness to have the cooldowns go down faster, but I don't know if that really makes up the difference, necessarily. What are we looking at here? Just saying confront Graven Ash. End him. Sup, folks? They say that mighty Tunon bowed to his wayward legal clerk. I ought to be surprised, but that knot of contradictions has been ready to unravel for a long time. The silence and cacophony tells me that the voices of Narad is dead, and I have every reason to celebrate. But I don't imagine for a moment that you came seeking my gratitude for a job well done. Weird how this isn't voice acted this late in the game. If indeed Tunon's headsman has been dispatched, then I am spared a nightmare, plagued by shadows. No one will mourn his passing.
So, you see fit to grace my halls with your presence. This will be the last time. I have no wish to consort with traitors. You have held back this campaign against the Tears long enough. After I grind your bones into the dry earth, my disfavored will take back this realm for the vaunted North, and you will be forgotten.
The homeland is behind you, Ashe. Only death lies ahead.
If you are set on a course of your own destruction, spare the North your polluted speech.
Before either of you can make the first strike, Beric steps forward and bellows in protest.
Fatebinder, this doesn't need to happen. Please! It is short-sighted for Archon to stand against Archon. The two of you would be more powerful as equals and collaborators. I beg that you consider another option.
The Archon of War would not have this any other way, would you, Ashe?
Do not force me into mediating your squabble. The protests of your companions are nothing to me. As far as I'm concerned, they are all as corrupted as you.
Archon, no! I am still your good northern soldier through and through. My loyalty, my place in the phalanx...
Gone. All of it. We are finished, and I remove you from my legion and my protection. No sooner will I return to the North than your family will be disgraced. Your celebrated name made to rot in the public square.
Ashe turns to you with hatred.
Gather, my legion! We will see this pestilence dispatched for the battlement of war! Fatebinder, prepare yourself!
Yep, sorry, Beric. He's not interested in talking.
Teach this one a lesson. We will not suffer insubordination.
Well, here comes a big old fight. Are they all gonna fight? Oh, that could be a lot of enemies. Oh my god, look how many people are behind him right now. This might be a big fight. Alright, well, quick save. There we go. At least there's that. And so begins the fight. Still, we've destroyed his guys so readily up till now that I don't have much to be worried about at the moment. Here comes the buff. And that buff. And this taunt. And bouncy strike.
Graven Ash protects.
There we go. We're off to a fun start. Yeah, the fan's the next thing to go with. You're casting that. Wait for just a moment. Okay, you. Lightning Cone. Ow, by the way. Damage on the Fatebinder. I'm gonna try to do Spectral Blur on the Fatebinder to help him out. We'll do Bouncing Knockdown. Oh. Right. Barracks prone. Oh, well their party's not gonna last though. I think this is just gonna end at this point. He can't last. There it goes. Next wave, my legion, for the north. Yeah, you guys aren't gonna last. You can try, I guess. It's cute of you to keep trying. Here comes pain. More bouncing shots. Those bounce on basically everybody. You wanna get in there, Barrack? You're just kind of standing there. I honestly kind of thought you'd auto-path to at least one target when that fight started. Yeah. Oh look, who leveled up again. Neat. I can't level up during combat, can I? Let's see, we already maxed out this, so I go for accuracy. Oh, I can max it out. Alright. Let's do this then. So I got Phantom Blades. Throne Mastery is more bouncing shot. Ricochet. Grazes and misses with ranged attacks ricochet on the new targets. Yes. That's just really cool. That's really cool. There's so much cool stuff at the very, very, very bottoms of these trees. Oh, well, they're dead. Well, now he's extra dead, because Nightmare Spikes came out of the ground, as it were. Let's do Polish Arms on, well, myself, actually. Just gonna start buffing myself while we wait for this guy to die on his own. That's kind of a work in progress. Attack my soldiers! Alright, well, now you're kind of running out of soldiers. Are they all gonna come too? Because these guys are running out. I don't know if everyone else joins. Let's throw over there. Surge of Glory, it's probably time to cast that again. More bouncy shots. Lightning. Those will get around quickly. Actually, Ram Spike has a freeze effect, so it's probably a good thing to focus on that first. They're targeting you, so there's bonus damage to be had here. That didn't bounce as many times as I was hoping. Still, everyone's kind of discordant all over the place, so it's probably not a bad idea just to go for the bounce. Nope. He's engaged in me, so I have to fight him. Unless I want to just accept disengagement. Could do False Pit, that might knock him over and break engagement on its own. I just want to reapply my buff. You just do you. If I'm careful, I can set up this cone to hit both of them. There we go. Fun times. And now they're both on the ground. I can go to the middle of the group, and I can cast this buff for the party. There we go. I'll take you out in just a second, don't worry. No, Cat, do thrusting. There we go. That'll do well. Marked. Plus 20 accuracy, marked prey. I assume that that's Graven Ash doing that? There are so many effects active at once that's actually hard to keep track of. Holy shit. Combat got complicated in this game. It'll be less complicated in a moment, though, when everybody's dead. Haha. Explosions! Yeah. Yep, there he goes.
Don't throw your lives away, my northerners!
I believe this is the final battle. Okay. Also, Lantry leveled up for one last time. So, another quickness upgrade? I never did drink those stat bonuses that I meant to drink, because the game just started ending too fast, basically. Oh. What? Oh, why didn't I made a mistake. I'm stupid. I apologize to anyone who noticed this earlier in the playthrough and saw how stupid I am, and I never did anything about it. 20% bonus to thrown weapons and lore experience gained. You know, like two of the specific abilities I really want on this character, my main character. freaking lore so he can cast better spells and thrown weapons because it's his primary form of attack and it's already up to 123. Having that upgrade would have helped my character become more powerful. At this point, it's kind of late. I think what I was going down next was just getting more points into... Yeah, let's go further down lore. Not that I'll be able to equip better spells at this point, anyway. But now he's got to have a scary... Yeah, he's 149 lore. That's terrifying. Alright, everyone. Hit him in the face. It's basically what we're going for here. Let's do something nasty. You, Artifact. Blast of Confusion. Start using our crazy special effects now. Special blur on the hero just to keep him safe.
I got it.
He probably has a lot of armor. Yeah, he has 20 armor. So some armor penetration is going to help here. Hard shot. How'd that blast go? Did he do it? Barrack casts Blast of Confusion. It grazes Graven Ash. Failed to apply Daze and Confuse. Did it do damage? Even? One piercing. It's ineffective. That's alright. Well, that's my grand use of that great skill. On weapon abilities, we've only recently got Storm Wheel, once per rest. Bunch of shock damage. Let's do that one now. That should be fun. I just want to play with all my toys before the game ends. I don't have a weapon ability on this character, and these both require interaction with the protagonist. Got a few of these. Slowing the Sands. Let's just throw my toys around. Whee! Lightning! It's ridiculous lightning. Alright, you should probably heal Barrack, because he's taking some damage. She did her weapon ability. What's the other one? Shadow's Embrace. Reduce damage for 50 seconds. Do more damage. It's only 10%. It's actually not that big of an effect, although it does last a long time. I'm just activating everything because I can. Because these are my toys. I'm going to play with them, goddammit. Wheel of Ages. Shattered Stone. Let's do Iron Storm. That'll be a fun one. Swords everywhere. Oh, did I not stand close enough to him? Whoopsie. I should stand closer to the enemy. Okay. Now, Iron Tolling. I'm just going to activate all of my special abilities back to back for the sake of it. Why not? Oh, he's stunned. I should have done something about that instead of waiting. My bad. And Quicken. Let's see, you go back to throwing around nasty spell effects. You hit him in the face.
I will aid you.
That's generally a good idea. Did we just get cancelled? There it is. That's one more effect triggered. Prone and Dazed wouldn't really work on this character, but it does do shock damage. Let's try Araya of Pain instead. Try to use some of these verses we have stocked up. Actually, yeah, let's do the stone attack. That's fun. I just want to do all my special abilities. Whoa. Extraordinary defense. That was a lot of healing just now. Eric just charged through them. I don't know if I agree with that logic. There's some damage from that attack. Blade Grave's Grasp. This is the Petrify. It does damage, right? Actually, probably not. Oh well. I just want to see all the crazy particle effects. Yay!
Can't do that.
Non-stop effects everywhere. Oh shit, Lantry went down. That's what I get for screwing around for too long, I guess. I've made a mistake. Oh, I never bought my revive, did I? I made a mistake. Potion of Revival, Lantry. He'll be all better just a second here. It's okay, I'm using a revival spell for the first time in this entire playthrough. So at least there's that. Hey Lantry, you should probably use like yeah, a healing potion. There you go. It's all better. I should probably stop being stupid and just focus on attacks. Although I did almost run out of special effects to throw at him, which is funny. I'm gonna spread out a little bit. Oh, that was in disengagement? Interesting, he was engaged with Lantry. Either way, he's far off now. So that's less of a problem. It's like too much party damage happened. How you feeling, Graven Ash? Not great, apparently. Can't imagine why. Here, take one of these. And one of these. Oops. Misclicking. Are you engaged with each other? There we go. So you can do your engagement bonus damage to attack. Oh shit, I forgot to apply a Lantry skill? Or the other one was already over. Lightning! Yay! And, bouncy heal. Well, he's near death now. So this isn't going great for him. Look how much that heal does. Is that really healing Wisp? 47, 47, 47, 27, 27. Jesus. How much health do you have again? 231. He doesn't have that much health. Like, that's a hilariously effective bouncing heal. Holy crap. Erase the record's a good thing to cast on our tank, because it means that he'll auto-heal when things are going bad. Fireball. He's gotta be dead soon, right? I have so many toys, and so many of them came up so late in the playthrough. Yeah, you probably should just do normal auto attacks at this point. There we go. We did it! We beat the big baddie. Stricken, the Archon looks down on his blood-stained hands with disbelief. Beads of sweat roll from his brow and glisten at the corners of his eyes. Graven Ash turns his attention up to you. The last of the fight has left him, and nothing remains but the final vestiges of a defeated man.
Well struck. You are the victor, and I go to my eternal rest in the void. Wish I could feel anything but relief.
His uneven breathing shudders, and blood appears in the corners of his mouth.
A warning to you, Archon. Kairos marches on the tiers, and you army, a stronger army, advances on these untamed lands, seeking to return with your head on a pike. There is nothing you can do to stop it. Would you hear my final testimony, Fatebinder? Before you bring ruin to my homeland and unravel the war we built together, would you hear me one last time?
Say what you would, Archon.
You are on a path to incredible power. A path that I walked long, long ago. There was strength, victory, triumph. Everything an Archon of War should expect from a life so accomplished.
He takes deep breaths through his nose as he clings to life.
But there was also pain. Had I another century to describe it, I could not explain the punishing agony of my devotion. My soldiers grew to depend on me, and I gifted them my protection. But I also took their harm upon myself. I had the strength to endure, for a time. Every gutting, every crushed bone, every death. I took it all upon myself, to spare my troops. You must be prepared to do the same.
Go on.
Your rise to power is no matter of personal glory. It touches all who trail in your wake. When you ascend, you won't be alone. Far from it. There will be others who look to you. You will be responsible for them in more ways than you can know. Take care with those who follow you. Depend on each other, but harden yourself to accept the burden of their love. Devotion can bite deeper than any spear.
He looks to your assembled company with a mixture of sympathy and regret.
I hope that you are prepared for what comes next. Because...
He grits his teeth as a fresh wave of agony threatens to overcome him.
Because Kairos will not make it easy.
His energy spent, the Archon releases all his tension, and for an instant, his face reflects deepest peace. Graven Ash, the last of the Northern Warlords, dies before your eyes. Archon! Archon! Barrick balls his hands into fists and locks them as at his side. Damn you, General, get up! Get up! We actually did it. We slew the Archon of War. I'll document it later. Right now, I think I need a change of pants and a good cleansing vomit. After several attempts to write in a trembled hand, Lantry tosses his quill aside, letting out a long sigh as he paces in tight circles, shaking his arms with nervous energy. Incredible. I assumed he was invulnerable. I guess even I can be wrong on occasion. That's weird how you guys all just stood around and watched while that happened. Maybe you could have stopped your own deaths by, helping me fight him, but okay. It's weird to accept that there's just like dozens of, like a couple dozen characters just sort of sat by and watched that happen when the outcome is their death. Ooh, heavy armor, two-handed weapon, two-handed Iron Marshal's heirloom blade. It has freezing and rendering, so you lose armor and become frozen on weapon crits. Two-handed weapon. No special effect though. There's also a rending weapon. Merrick's blackened spear. They're always normal spears instead of javelins, which is a bummer. Because I want a cool javelin. I think I went the entire game without getting a cool javelin, which is really disappointing. Unless I forgot about one. I didn't understand the quality system in this game at first, so I might have seen a javelin with a special effect and been like, but it's basic quality, so I might have thrown it away, because another one had better stats. But yeah, now I know that special effects are everything, and you can upgrade them at the Spire. Although, I got the Spire so recently that it would have only affected a tiny portion of the overall playthrough in my playthrough. That's kind of a... Yeah, I think that might be a flaw, almost. There are entire mechanics hidden behind getting the Spires, but you don't even necessarily get all the Spires to begin with, and you can get some of them so late in the game. I apparently made the worst possible decision in that I chose to go to the stone cairn area last, which means I got two of the towers in like what was basically the last chapter of the game, which is kind of a bummer as far as being able to use basic mechanics that affect the game goes. It has haste and does 20% more damage at night, but it's a two-handed spear, which is outside of what anyone uses in this party. This is just a helm? Yeah. Hey, do you just level up? No, you just got like flashy or something. More stone shield boots. Oh, light armor leather. Yeah, it's actually better. Where'd those boots just go? Wait. I thought I put them in your inventory. Yeah, there we are. Yes, the same type of boots, just a higher level. There we go. Oops. There we go. No need to pay for the upgrade. I like by the way, I like how this character looks right now, the 3D model. With the purple shield and the spear and like the mix of purple and leather and like everything about that setup actually looks pretty neat, I think. And the little like bladed looking shin guards. Some more stuff I probably won't use. I think I went most of the game without using food ever. Just feel like, oh, get a really minor buff from using an item, or I could just not, I guess. It didn't always feel like a good fit. The reports list all known Scarlet Chorus outposts and strongholds, as well as troop composition. It's safe to assume the Graven Ash has his own eyes and ears within the ranks of his enemies. Yeah, he was a good leader, probably, but he was so uncompromising in shitty ways. which was what led to me a lot of frustration early on, is like he just seemed kind of stupid. Like, he's a capable leader from a military standpoint, but he also seemed stupid as far as leaders go. Did I miss something back here? Oh, I didn't loot the body. That's his weapon right there. Vigilant, 5% health while has wounds every 6 seconds. Ooh, that's pretty good. Every 6 seconds you just gain 1/20th of your health back over and over again when you have wounds. Probably a good thing to put on your tank. And another... Damn, this game has a... This game, fetishizes the idea of every legendary weapon being a two-handed melee weapon. It's kind of obnoxious. Like, there's other specs in this game. In my case, I happen to basically not have any of them, so it's a little frustrating how almost every special item is a big two-handed mace or something. -4 might and pushback on crits. Blade Storm. Releases blades of swirling death. The energy within Peacemaker covers the area with lightning, dealing slash and shock damage to all nearby enemies. Damage scales with Peacemaker's renown. Before he became an Archon, Graven Ash wielded Peacemaker in service to his king. Each of the great northern warlords was gifted a weapon of extraordinary power, and all of them, save this one, are said to hang in Kairos' trophy gallery. In spite of its age, the iron is lovingly preserved and treated with regular applications of oil. The word absolution is carved down the length of the haft in runes that predate Kairos' dominion. It can be inferred that Ashe had added this personal touch after his fall to disfavor, though he would never achieve what he sought. The great general kept Peacemaker close at all times, and shared his history with no one. Legends dating back centuries imply that its lightning-wreathed head changed its aspect every 100 years, cycling between fire, water, storm, and gravelight in no discernible order. Even the name, Peacemaker, is a topic of scrutiny. The name only became a matter of record after Ashe surrendered to Kairos, implying that Ashe made his peace when he laid the hammer at Kairos' feet. And bing! You've acquired Peacemaker! Here, you can hold it in your offhand, just to make you feel good about having it. There you go, Barrick. What is this? Plus 10 parry, 1 health every 6 seconds. I think I'd rather have this one. It only happens when you have wounds, but you get wounds from taking any significant amount of damage, and 5% health every 6 seconds. That's a hell of a defensive boost when you need it. So I think I like that idea quite a bit. Way to go, Barrick. Enjoy your upgrade. Also, let's just drink these already. There we go. Since we're running out of game, I might as well just do that. So you got a bonus, bonus finesse. You got a bonus to vitality. You got a bonus to quickness, I believe. So, Jesus Christ, Lantry's stats. He got scary. I don't know if there's even going to be another fight in the game at this point. We'll see. We've reached a point where, like, every character's dead. like Tunon's the only... Every single character is either somebody who doesn't matter all that much, or they're Tunon, who's already bowed to me, or they're in my party, and unlikely to be a source of fighting, so... Unless Kairos shows up, like, right now, the game might be over? I'm saying that because I've heard this game ends unsatisfyingly, so I don't think Kairos is actually going to show up and fight me in the game. I think it's just... Like, we might be out of gameplay already, actually. Which is alarming, but maybe the case. Travel to the mountain spire. Alright. That's closure right there, too. They want you to go back to where this all started. That's a pretty strong sign that it's over. And I go back on foot because I just decided not to claim this tower. It's no big deal, it's just the source of all my power, and I just heard that Kairos is coming to kill me, but let's just conveniently not go after the last tower. It's just one of my primary motivating factors, but, you know, who needs character motivation? I've been eschewing that the entire playthrough. Issue an edict upon the Northern Kingdom. Oh. I'm going to stand here and issue an edict on the Northern Kingdom specifically. Well. The waves of energy radiating from the spire draw you forward, pressing your body and mind to its eager embrace. At the center of this tide, the resonator stands ready to broadcast your voice, echoing your commandments to farthest reaches of the tiers and beyond. From here, the highest point in all the peninsula, you could, with the sum total of your effort, project your will far north, past the edge of the tiers, and proclaim your edicts as far as the lands of the Northern Empire. I can say, this is probably war. Ready? Let's see. I actually like this idea. Turn to your companions. Any requests? How could you ask such a thing? Wow. Lost loyalty and gained fear with Lantry. Really? Really, Lantry? You can't just be amused by this for even a moment? I'm disappointed in your lack of sense of humor, Lantry. How could you ask such a thing? I can't possibly make such a far-reaching decision. I'm sorry you have more options than you have convictions. Lantry squats his quill at you as he switches to sepia ink. Lantry, come on. You want me to suggest the best way to destroy an entire nation? No, Fatebinder, I'll leave that decision up to you. Oh. Well, that was kind of disappointing. Well, that was a bummer. Let's concentrate. You know there's only one equivalent response to the Overlord's aggression. You need to cast an edict on the northern nation, Kairos' seat of power. Nothing less will do a gesture of your authority. The Spire awaits your command. Well, here we go then, huh? We just decided this is... We just sort of take it for granted that this is the next step. Is I just absolutely have to just attack the north. Alright, let's do this. There's no edict in this region. Is that the wrong spot? Let's try again. I don't know. Did I lose? This is the flashing spot, right? Oh, now it worked. Why didn't it work a second ago? I was trying to figure out why I couldn't do anything. So I guess I could have gotten 5 different edicts and I only have 2. Just stone and fire. Let's see. It may be good to just burn the place. Nah, the Edict of Stone is terrifying. You just petrify people throughout the land. I didn't think it would be like super far-reaching and universal at first, but then we saw what happened when I did it here, and it just took everyone out. So let's do it. Your Edict of Stone shakes the ground under the northern capital, a quake that builds in such ferocity that massive sinkholes open under the bustling city, swallowing whole districts. As citizens flee in terror, mages attempt to help, but find arcane powers dampened to the point of uselessness. Even as they cleave to falling structures or run from widening fissures, all wonder why Kairos offers no deliverance. As chaos ensues in the Northern Kingdom, the armies marching on the tiers received an unprecedented order. The armies were to fall back to the capital and ensure the safety of its people from the edict. For the first time in Kairos' great conquest, the armies retreated. Soon questions would be asked in hushed breath across the lands about what new and terrible power had emerged that could force the hand of the Overlord. You fulfilled Kairos' decree, and all the tiers are now ruled by a single Archon. Your former rivals have either submitted to you or perished, bringing the civil war to a close. In their pride, the disfavored never imagined themselves beaten, especially when their opponents appeared so disorganized. The last remnants of the Legion disperse, their general destroyed, their honor broken beyond mending. The scorn that follows their humbled ranks haunts them even in the depths of obscurity. The Scarlet Course, true to form, were quick to change allegiance from once the voices of Nerat died. They pledged their devotion to you, hoping to gain your favor. In the months following your victory, emissaries of the surviving gang bosses present offerings and totems of fealty. But without a devoted taskmaster to keep them in line, their flimsy power structure collapses, reducing the Scarlet Chorus to a whimper of its former strength. Under your guidance, those who resisted the conquest and sowed discontent are vanquished, their rebellion brought to a decisive end. Any lingering question of who is the true ruler of the Tears is answered by your impact on the reconstructed nation. Word of your success spreads beyond the Tears as well. Even the most distant corners of the Empire whisper of the Fatebinder who rose to become an Archon, and an Archon whose intervention shattered the conquest, making way for a new future in the devastated nation. While you manage to unite the Tears under a single banner through conquest, losing the support of the Overlord's armies makes the work of maintaining this order all the more difficult. Loyalties weaken and slip, but you make a point of taking a personal hand in the country's new governments. After time and struggle, the Tearsmen begin to see themselves as citizens of a unified land. With the Edict of Stone dispelled, the earth settles around the Stone Sea, ushering a new age of verdant growth and prosperity. The country may never resemble the glorious realm of Azure, but with new life, many new things become possible. The memory of Cairn as a great force of destruction remains as a monument of inert rock. Most agree the world is better off without the Archon of Stone, as the people of Azure begin to slowly reclaim the land that once was torn asunder by his power. With the Edict of Stone dispelled, you ensured that humans will once again populate the former realm of Azure. The Stonestalker tribe is gradually pushed out of their new territory, and those who don't resist are enslaved, put to work rebuilding new human settlements. The death of Radix is a huge blow to the disfavored. Without the support of the Mage Guild, the Legion finds itself outclassed for the first time and suffers on the battlefield. What? Aren't they already gone? That's a weird time to bring that up. The Edict of Storms never stops its relentless assault in the ruins of the mighty Stalwart. Sentinel Stand Keep falls further into disrepair, the wind wall separating it from any would-be conquerors. The fate of those inside the fortress still remains a mystery. If I'm the ruler of this place, why wouldn't I clean that up? Why wouldn't I follow? Like, that's a loose end. Why would I just ignore that? That's part of my land, and there's still a rebellion. We just had a slide talking about how I quelled the rebellion, but I let those people continue their rebellion? That's so weird that it arbitrarily decides not to let me do that mission for no reason, basically. You played the Censors game and emerged victorious, retrieving the Silent Archive from the Velen Citadel. When asked to turn it over, you decided it was better off in your possession. Instead, you sent the Censor to Cacophony as a gift to the Voices of Nerat. It's weird that it's bringing these things up now, because these don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, the Voices of Nerat is dead. Like, it's like, oh, but you made this decision once, just as a recap. Aren't you supposed to tell... that's weird. This whole epilogue started off as being like, here's what happened after the game ended, but now it's something like, I'm just going to recap things you did. By taking the Silent Archive from its pedestal and disrupting the preservation spell holding the Velen Citadel in stasis, you caused the collapse of the single largest repository of knowledge in Terratus. The world may never know the true extent of your loss. I knew that already. The sages are all but wiped from the Tears. What remains of their hoarded knowledge is vulnerable, as likely to be misused as destroyed. The damage done to the intellectual core of the region is likely beyond reversal. Though small groups of would-be scholars gain influence from time to time, the setback is ultimately too vast to overcome. The Scarlet Chorus rules Lethian's Crossing with signature cruelty. They perform regular midnight raids against homes or businesses, making examples of locals and keeping dissenters in check. Locked doors and shuttered windows become the new standard of life as citizens grow into their new sense of fear and paranoia. What? Why does the Scarlet Chorus rule Lethian's Crossing? I took out Scarlet Chorus and the Disfavored. Why am I suddenly like a weird passive shithead who just ignores their own kingdom? If I took out the Voices of Nerat, why would I stop acting against the Scarlet Chorus? It's weird. By returning the Magebane helm to Lethian's Crossing, you ensure the Bane will not be able to get into the city. For the time being, the threat of Bane incursion is dispelled. The settlers are grateful to go about their lives unburdened by this peril, though knowing how close they came to annihilation haunts them. They hope that the security provided endures. What security I provide? I let the Scarlet Chorus attack you, even though I took out their leader. These title cards don't mix as a cohesive story. They're all triggered by decisions I made, but they don't all fit together. Sending the Forgebound Master to the Voices of Nerat strikes a heavy blow to the Forgebound, and the very art of ironsmithing suffers terrible setbacks. It takes many years to recover or relearn the delicate subtlety of crafting fine weapons and arms. The Forgebound continue to create weapons, but their quality is suspect. By enacting an edict on Vendrian's Well, you announced your power to the world and showed Kairos' forces what you are capable of. When you defeated their leader and shadowed the army before you, it sent the message to Kairos: a new Archon is born. While the edict is dissipated, its effect will always be felt as the first true threat to Kairos' rule. The death of Graven Ash means the end of the disfavored. Without the comfort and support of the great general, what remains of the Legion sinks into hopelessness. The Archon's seat is left vacant, and whether or not it can be occupied again is a heated topic. Far from his place of final rest, the Northern Empire mourns its fallen son. Killing the Voices of Nerat spreads the joy of bloody vengeance across the continent. Celebrated as the death of history's greatest parasite, the occasion is marked by all who suffer under the oppression of the Scarlet Chorus. Even in victory, one thought nags at you. Though you witness his death, you can't help but wonder if the Voices of Nerat is done with you. Tunon the Adjudicator continues to dispense justice from his seat in the Bastard City. He follows the laws you craft the letter, advising on any of the meticulous changes you lack the time or the patience to draft. Without his aid, the task of keeping order in the tiers would be nigh impossible. The death of Blade and Mark deprived the world of a most capable murderer. One less bedtime story to scare children is no significant loss, though you can't help but glance at the dark corners of every room and feel as if something's watching you. Blade and Mark will always cast a long shadow on your life. The death of Graven Ash left Barrick a shadow of his former self. He follows you for a time, as much out of habit as reflex. All agree that there is nothing of him left under the iron shell. He departs your company without a word, assuming a position at a crossroads where he allows himself to rust, as solid as any statue. Verse finds herself adrift in the relative peace that follows your conquest. She returns to the field and seeks out young women from rural communities, imparting her fighting skills to only the most passionate. Over the course of many apprentices, she follows the Voice of Nerat's example and forms a personal army, the Callous Sisterhood. Verse proves to be a strict teacher, and you hire her services often, confident that she'll take any assignment where there's blood to be spilled. Lantry shifts focus from writing about your accomplishments and spends more time with your spires, contemplating their mysteries and unraveling their secrets. The research he uncovers about your stronghold proves invaluable. Some days you feel as if there are a few secrets the old librarian has not already learned. With quiet satisfaction, Lantry persists in working, his wandering days behind him. Exhausted from fighting, Ebb shifts her focus to the broken school of Tidecasters. She recruits as many talented students as possible, but apprentices are difficult to find in the tense post-war tiers. The few who are drawn to her teachings show promise, and Ebb has little doubt that the Tidecasters can return to their former strength in less than a decade or two. The going will be hard for some time, though. Kills in Shadow shows little interest in cleaning up the tiers after the victory. Instead, she takes it upon herself to hunt down every disfavored soldier in the country. You hear frequent word of maulings and disappearances among Kairos' ranks, perpetuated by a beast of legendary ferocity. Though you could no doubt track down your wayward companion, you let her continue with her bloody work out of equal parts respect and fear. Siren grows quiet over time, speaking little and foregoing her songs as she distances herself from your military. One day, she simply walks out of camp and makes for the wilderness of the Tiers. Rumors reach your ear that Siren has occupied the abandoned mountainside temple, her vow of silence drawing a small group of respectful followers. You leave her in peace. Though you once professed loyalty to Kairos, popular belief holds that the world cannot support two overlords, and you now represent a threat to the established order. This leaves your future in question, with but one certainty. When Kairos retaliates, you will be ready. From your perch atop the ancient spire, you can see hints of the Northern Empire just beyond the mountains. At your command, horns shout, a triumphant cry across the valley, heralding the end of one long campaign and the beginning of another. Hey, we beat Tyranny at long last. It happened. So that was interesting. I would ultimately decide it is a completely playable and passable game. The RPG progression mechanics and the combat, I was all generally happy with. On a mechanical level, I'm happy with the game. On a role-playing standpoint, it's a little frustrating how infrequently you actually get to make decisions that affect anything. It just kind of pales in comparison to a lot of Western RPGs that have come out over the last few years, and in particular to games from this own company, which is why it was kind of a surprise. But yeah, you basically play an entire chapter of the game and then make one decision, but that decision itself isn't even like, do I do this or that? It's more like, do I do what my leader wants me to do, or do I betray them now and continue along another path? And I imagine that once you betray your leader, then your decisions kind of go away at that point, probably, because then you're just stuck with the rebellion path, and that's it, or the anarchy path, or whatever people call it. So it's really just, you continue along a linear storyline and just keep saying whether or not you want to stick with your current Archon you're working for or not, and then the ending happens. And even the ending's a bit of a disappointment, because it ends up boiling down to Kairos saying, hey, Archons, pick a leader already. And then you just pick a leader by killing everybody or subjugating them, and then the game ends? Which is kind of it seems like no matter how you play the game, I think that it seems like the entire last act in particular is going to be almost identical. Like, I imagine that even if I side with Vendrian's Wells people, or try to, and throw off Tunon and both of the other Archons, like, at that point what happens? Don't I still become super powerful, take all the spires, and just find myself capable of sending out an edict, and then be like, oh, I guess I have edict powers now, that's weird. And then I probably still get recognized as an Archon, and the same story probably happens in the end, just a slightly different path along the way. So it's a mixed bag, but it was fun. It's a playable game, and the setting's kind of cool, and the characters are neat, and like it's totally fine. I just found it clashing with my expectations for the game. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching like always. I'll hopefully find time to play it again, and I'll hopefully finally find time to play through Pillars of Eternity from front to back. At this point, it's been so long since my failed playthrough, I would just start over again, and probably build a different character that fits better in the party, and make some better decisions on what order to do things in, because I didn't do enough side quests at the beginning, and my lack of side quests at the beginning led to some iffy outcomes. But yeah, thanks for watching like always, guys, and I'll see you next time.